So welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jerome Lattis. I'm the co-founder of Arttitude.
Arttitude, yes.
Mhm.
And what is Arttitude?
Well, Arttitude, what we do, we support and create platforms for LGBT artists and Black and Brown artists. Whether it just be a pop-up or a show, performance, anything that we can think of, really. So
That's wonderful. So you guys won $500
that's
from
awesome.
one of the Pride artists. Chose your nonprofit to receive
Oh,
the winning prize. So congratulations.
oh well, thank you. We're always grateful when we get donations. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to see if I just wanted to talk to you about this is how I run these meetings. First, I want to know about you and your organization's goals
Okay.
and your current problems or issues that you're facing, maybe. And I'll ask some questions, and then once I completely understand your situation, I'll share mine.
Okay.
It will be very brief, and maybe what comes next. And whatever you share, I want you to know, I want you to feel comfortable sharing it.
Okay.
And with what's really going on in your organization. So
Right.
any updates or anything on the horizon or
Yeah, this year is going to be a good year for Artitude. During the pandemic or the quarantine, we did okay, but we just couldn't do we didn't do any live events.
yeah.
Everything was kind of virtual, and so that kind of held us back. But now I don't want to reveal it yet, but we're about to get a big grant from a very big foundation that they are. It's for 2 years. So
Fantastic.
so we should know within the next 2-3 weeks. I mean, we already know we're going to get it. It's just the paperwork, kind of has
Yeah.
to go. Many
I
signatures.
understand you don't want to make a big reveal until it's
Yeah,
completely done. Yeah, that's
yeah, but
exciting, Jerome.
yeah. So it's for our Mariconex program, which is our Latinx program for that funding. So we're very excited about that. We have a lot of things coming up because of that grant we're able to do. So right now we just did a call for art. We just sent it out yesterday.
Yeah, I received that, and we're going to
Yeah,
put it on our social media.
yeah. So yeah, and anyone especially here, the Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio,
Mhm.
West Texas, Houston area is eligible to kind of, well, everyone is eligible, but if you're outside those areas, you're probably going to have to pay for shipping. And
Yeah.
so that's why, so within those areas, Artitude has that. So it is a jury, I don't say jury, it's a curated show by artist that we've had with Artitude. His name is Jose Villalobos. He's from San Antonio. So
Oh,
he's a
wow.
pretty prolific artist, young and upcoming artist.
Mhm.
And we've worked with him before, so we enjoy working with him.
Well, that's
Um,
fantastic.
and then I think September 18th, our last night in Black History, we have a new program coordinator for that. Her name is Lady B.
Mm-hmm.
And September 18th, we'll be working with the Rivershon Recreation Center, and we're kind of having a community day, kind of get to know Artitude, get to know what we're doing, but also the city's going to be involved. So we'll have, so the Rivershon Recreation Center will be doing that with us. We'll be using their facilities. So it's just kind of come and hang out. We have food, we have vendors. And so, yeah, it's kind of get to know Artitude and kind of raise a little bit of money for Artitude as well.
Well, that sounds fun. So tell me about the foundation grant. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what that actually is going to do or provide for these art opportunities for the next 2 years?
Yes. So it's for 2 years, and it's for the Mariconex program. So that enables us, what we're going to be able to do with that is get a space. So that's what we've needed.
A space just for Artitude?
Yes.
Wow.
So that will serve the program needs for that program, but it'll
Mhm.
also serve the program needs for other of our other programs that we have as well. We are opening it up to other organizations and artists as well if they need to use, because we do want to make it a community space as well.
Mhm. Do you have a space picked out?
Friday we're looking. So So this Friday we're going out and looking for a location now. So
what area of town do you think?
We're looking at we're looking in the Cedar Springs area, we're looking in the Oak Cliff area, we're looking in the Cedars area.
Mhm.
So we're kind of looking, for the better deal. So
that's fantastic.
And so for the Mariconex program, it's going to help us. We have an artist residency program that we're going to do for 2 years. We're doing this across kind of this art exhibit that we're doing. We are working on a third documentary, which is looking at undocumented individuals here in the U.S.
That's important.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening with the Mariconex within this year and next year. So our Last Night Black History, so we're looking for more funding on that because we have February 28th in 2022 coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We have some pop-up shows coming, along with this community event. And I know we're currently planning an all-female art exhibit within the Last Night Black History as well. So.
Well, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So many things on the horizon.
Yes. So we're kind of leery because with this Delta variant, we're
Mm-hmm.
not sure what's going to happen. But we're prepared for the two.
Mm-hmm.
If we need to go virtual, we're prepared to do virtual. If we need to just limit this how many come into our space. We're
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of playing that by ear as things happen. So.
Okay, so what kind of things could Art for Your Cause help to make these programs more available, or could they, or is there any way that you see that we could help, or
we're always willing to collaborate with other
Mm-hmm.
organizations.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of where we're needing help with, because we can take our programming, work with them, and go into other people's spaces as well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just have to be our space, and that's kind of what we've been doing anyway, is
Mm-hmm.
using other people's spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So we can still do that, and the more collaborations that we have with other organizations, the stronger that our work is, because
Can't do it alone.
Exactly. Here's the thing, people say, oh, they're taking, we see these organizations, they're taking your program. I'm saying let them, because it's working.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the more of us that are out there, doing this kind of work, the
Mm-hmm.
message gets out as to what we're doing. So
That's fantastic.
So we're always willing to work with other organizations, always. So, and other artists too. And if you hear about artists that fall within our mission, let us know,
Mm-hmm.
because we love to talk to artists as well.
Yeah, there was a lot. We had like 45 entries in the Pride contest, so it was hard to decide, the top 3.
Yeah.
And, there was best artist, best image, best essay, and the most votes. And I'm thinking it was the most votes that was Arttitude, but we have we're going to have other contests, and we're going to have another Black History Month contest, and we're going to have another Pride contest next year.
Oh, nice.
So that's something that maybe Arttitude could be more involved with.
Right.
Somehow. And we have an affiliate program where anybody that signs up and anybody buys from their affiliate URL, they get 10% of the sale.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then they can donate that to the nonprofit.
Okay.
Too. So it's a little bit of an incentive, and then you guys are already on Art for Your Cause, and I don't know if you're aware of some of the new features and everything.
No, I'm not.
We've got a lot of new features, and so I will make sure you get an email with all of that in it.
Okay, awesome. That's great.
Because artists can collaborate. They can have their own profile, but they can donate part of the proceeds to a nonprofit.
That's great. That's a great opportunity.
And then they can be in your profile. They can share the products in your profile, and you can sell them and make, 10% off of those too. So it adds up. Right. So it's
any amount helps. Because with that big grant we're getting, that's one program, and so we're still looking for funding with our Last Night Black History and other programs as well. So, as a nonprofit, we're always looking for funding, and so
we also have a crowdfund. Our nonprofit is Causability, and it's our crowdfunding site, and it's a way for people to raise organizations or individuals to raise money. Put your cause on there, and you can raise money directly.
Okay.
So we're a nonprofit, and we're trying to get into the GoFundMe space because they don't reveal how much of a percentage they take. We only take 2.7.
Okay. Yeah.
We understand what organizations are going through, and they need to maximize all their money.
Right.
So we don't take, and GoFundMe and those other platforms, they take 10%, anywhere from 10% up.
Wow.
So it adds up when you're looking at, because most donations are like between $15 to $50.
Right.
And so, it doesn't make sense to take a big, and they're for profit.
Right.
Patreon, GoFundMe, Kickstarter, they're all for profit. So, they're out to make money. We are too, but we, invested in our community, not invested in ourselves per se, since we're a nonprofit. But anyway, so that's my spiel on that. And if you need any graphic design for any of your projects, I have a full-time graphic designer.
Oh, that's great.
With those.
Yes, most definitely.
If you want to put any art on products, we can do that. Like if you have an artist or a mural or something you want to really promote.
Okay.
We can put those on products and put those in your profile, and you can offer those on social media. And when those sell, you get a percentage of that too.
Okay. Yeah,
so,
yes. Well, I'll talk to you after this because we do have things. So.
Yeah. So, and we also do the contests, and we're going to have another one, and we can do specific contests, like for certain things.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a big general contest, like Pride Month. It could be, we're sponsoring this program, and call artists submit for that program, but then your organization gets whatever donations are, from that contest. Okay. So it's a little bit different, but anyway, that's kind of a real high level overview of what we've been doing, and everything can be accessed in the dashboard now. We've got a way for you to track your donations, your sales, your affiliate revenue, and all that too. So it's real simple.
That's great.
So, yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to share? Any lingering thoughts, or anything you want the community at large to know that maybe has been going on that people aren't aware of, or trials and tribulations that you see in the in our culture? Or?
I guess one thing I can say, we're still working hard to bring representation to LGBT and Black and Brown artists, because still even though we've been doing this now for 4 or 5 years now, we're still very underrepresented. And so that's why our work is important, because we're bringing that representation not only to museums, because we still work with the Dallas Museum of Art. We work with the Dallas Arts District. So those collaborations are very important, because we get that opportunity to bring some of our artists into a more bigger kind of kind of the more mainstream kind of ways in which art is experienced. But it also falls upon us smaller organizations to create some of those experiences too, and to highlight these artists as well. So that's what we like to do. Sorry.
That's okay.
I have a sleeper on the light.
That's okay.
So if I'm not moving, So if I'm not moving, it turns off.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's kind of, that's still at the core of our mission, is to highlight these artists and to create these wonderful programs that we have and collaborations, and even support. And sometimes all it takes is, us showing up or posting and letting other people know what's going on as well. Those are the small things we can do.
Yeah.
The big things is, create these programs where we do have artists coming in, or many artists coming in. So, and that's what we're hoping with this Across show, is to highlight as many, Latinx artists or Afro-Latino artists, to kind of show us what they have and what they're doing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, however we can support you, just let me know. And looking forward to working with you some more.
Yeah, same here. It's been a long time since I've seen you once.
Yes. The last time was at the bowl ceremony.
Yes, that's been a couple of years.
That's been September, October of 2019.
Yeah.
It's almost 2 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. COVID just erased a whole span
like
of
a whole
time.
year.
Yeah.
For me, it's like a year. When I think back, it's like the COVID years are kind of hazy. So
yeah, it is. It's like a big blur.
I say the COVID years, but the COVID, the quarantine.
Yeah.
It is kind of hazy for
The
me.
lockdown.
Like thinking back, yeah.
Yeah, that was. Let's hope we don't ever have to go through that again.
I know. That's what I'm worried about, this Delta variant. So
yes, exactly. And so, are you working with artists with the COVID? Through, is there anything to help them with COVID related issues, or is that even something that's coming up in your organization?
It has come up in our organization. We're following all the CDC guidelines when it comes to COVID. So we think that's the best way to respond. So when we're thinking about these events, we do keep in mind the risk of people getting COVID or infected with COVID, things like that. So but this year, this is going to be the first year we're actually doing in public events. So, but we've all done virtual events, so we really didn't have to worry about that since they're virtual. But now, yes, we will have face masks. We will still be social distancing. So we're not just going to pack the room with people. So we'll be very aware of how many people are in there. The Cross show is going to be up for a month, so that'll let a lot of people come in, look at the work. We'll have an opening reception, but we'll also have Jose Villalobos come in and do an artist talk on why he selected these works and how they spoke to him, things like that. We'll have the artists coming in and giving their own personal perspective on the show and the work they submitted as well. So so we're trying not only to look at the art, but trying to understand the art and why we're doing it, and understand the artists and their processes too, because those are just as important. So, yeah.
That's important, and people and artists need to express verbally just as much as they need to express visually.
Right.
It may be more challenging for them sometimes.
Right.
But it is important for them to tell their story in words. And presenting, because presenting is a big part of sales.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that. When I first started with Arttitude, I had no clue about it. But
you're great. You're kidding me. I thought you were. Oh no.
So yes.
So you just had a trip to Buffalo?
Yes. Well, actually, that was towards the end of my trip. So I went with a really good friend. She's actually one of the Kraft kids. So she grew up with Juanita Kraft when she was in middle school and high school.
How fun.
So what we did a civil rights tour of different museums, monuments, and sites of kind of the eastern part of the U.S.
How long did that take?
It was 14 days. And so I drove the whole time. But it was quite an amazing trip. It was very touching.
You need to write something about it. Yeah.
So it started in Memphis, where there's the Lorraine Hotel, where the Martin Luther King Museum there, where he was assassinated.
Yeah.
Then moving on to like Montgomery, where they have the lynching, history of lynching, the museum and the memorial there. Then ending kind of in Buffalo, where Harriet Tubman did her work. The Underground Railroad, where a lot of slaves crossed to Canada in that area.
Yeah.
So Canada was a really, really big perspective on the struggle for Black Americans.
Wow.
Still struggling, but it brings to light like what is happening now. Or brought to more perspective of what's happening now. So it was. I mean, I'm still thinking about this trip, and I think I'm still even processing like everything that happened and everything that we saw.
I'm sure probably will be for a while.
Yeah. So it was great. So I think
those times were so traumatic and so revolutionary and so scary.
Right.
And they still are. That's what's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Is that even after all that time, we still have a little bit of awakening, but we still have miles to go.
Right. I agree.
It's appalling.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to see your co-founder.
I did. And my great friend Cannon Flowers. So my co-founder is Rafiq Saleh Flowers and his husband Cannon. So it was. I hadn't seen them in about a year, actually a little longer, because
right before they left.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when they left, it was like a video. It was a Zoom goodbye. It kind of, because of the quarantine, we couldn't get together. And so, but it was really good to see them again.
I bet.
So
they're such great people.
Yes, and what Cannon and Rafiq were doing here in Dallas, they're doing the same thing in Buffalo. So.
Oh, that's great.
Getting involved and helping the community. So. But yeah, so that was great. So, and now with Rafiq being in Buffalo, we're kind of talking about doing a satellite of Arttitude in Buffalo.
Yeah, so, why not?
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, that's great.
Right.
Let's spread it everywhere.
Yes.
It needs to be everywhere.
Exactly.
Franchise it. I mean, you can't franchise a nonprofit, but you know what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, we can open different sites. So.
That's a great goal, long-term goal to have.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And with foundation help, I think you could probably achieve it.
I think so too. So we're, but kind of one of the things that we really need help with is we really need a really good grant writer. So one of our board members, we come together, and this big grant that we got, I'm very thankful for my board member. Her name is Jera, and she wrote that grant. She did amazing. But I know, she's a full-time professor. She helps with us. And I know just grant writing is so tedious and meticulous. And it takes a lot of time.
It does. And it's you have to be so meticulous.
Right. Exactly. And, but that's one of our needs, is a grant writer.
Okay. Well, I really thank you for coming on. And I love hearing about Arttitude and all the wonderful things you're doing.
Right.
And I'm just so impressed.
Yeah, sometimes I think back, it's like, wow, we did that. So,
yeah, you guys have done a lot. And I don't even know everything you've done.
Yeah, sometimes you just look back, you wonder, like, wow, we kind of, when you're in the moment, you're just kind of doing it. But then, upon reflecting, you're like, wow, that's a very big thing. Like our mural that we did 2 years ago. The transgender theme mural that we did, it's the largest in the U.S.
Now, where is that?
It's on Cedar Springs. It's right next to Havana's, the parking lot between the Havana's bar and the Nelson Thibodeau Clinic.
Oh, okay.
So it's in that parking lot. So actually we have two murals, Arttitude, in that parking lot. The one on the Thibodeau Clinic, that's to commemorate those who died of AIDS and those who died with HIV. And right across, that's the 50th anniversary. That's the mural that commemorates the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, which we highlighted Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson on there. And so, but that to date still is the largest trans mural in the U.S.
That's great.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's 2,200 square feet. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.